On September 17, 2024, an extremely baffling and world-shocking pager explosion occurred in Lebanon, as if controlled by a mysterious command. As many as 3,000 pagers exploded violently at the same time. This explosion brought extremely tragic consequences, and the number of casualties was extremely astonishing. According to detailed statistics, the total number of casualties has exceeded 3,000. 9 people were unfortunately killed on the spot at the moment of the explosion, and more than 200 people were seriously injured and in critical condition, facing the threat of death at any time. However, this terrible disaster did not end there. Just one day later, on the evening of September 18th, the terrifying explosion sound rang out again in Lebanon. This time, it was the daily consumer electronics product walkie-talkies that exploded. A heart-wrenching scene unfolded before everyone's eyes. An ambulance was slowly driving on the street, carrying the remains of the victims of the pager explosion. A large number of people who came to attend the funeral of the victims gathered around, immersed in grief. But at this moment, the ICOM walkie-talkie used by the paramedics suddenly exploded without warning, and this accident instantly plunged the scene into chaos. It is worth noting that the source of the pagers involved in the first explosion points to Taiwan, while the walkie-talkies that exploded in the second explosion are Japanese brands. In this situation, the person behind this seems self-evident. It must be said that the United States is the only terrorist in the world. It is the various actions of the United States that make this world full of insecurity at the same time. According to the situation reported by the Lebanese Fire Department, in the second round of explosions, there were suspected explosions or fires in 25 motorcycles and cars. At present, the relevant departments are fully investigating the cause of this incident and cannot determine whether this is an isolated event or a series of whether this is an isolated event or a series of organized and premeditated collective events. The entire Lebanon is shrouded in fear and uneasiness. People are eagerly looking forward to the truth coming to light as soon as possible so that this country, which has endured many hardships, can regain its former tranquility and peace. However, in terms of probability, the fact that so many cars and motorcycles simultaneously experience accidents as if controlled must have a reason that is not so simple. Soon, someone confirmed that these cars or motorcycles actually all installed the same radio equipment. It is the radio, walkie-talkie and other equipment that actually exploded or caught fire, not the cars and motorcycles themselves. It turned out that the walkie-talkie exploded after receiving the command and then ignited the motorcycle or car. What's more interesting is that the Israeli media seems to have anticipated this situation long ago. An unnamed Israeli insider claimed that they had prepared about 5,000 explosive electronic devices. However, only 3,000 of them worked in the explosion on September 17th, where the remaining 2,000 went has now become a huge mystery. As a result, just a few hours after this report was released, the second round of explosions occurred in Lebanon. Judging from various signs, this is obviously a terrorist attack on Lebanon launched by Israel at the national level. And it is also an indiscriminate attack, bringing incalculable disasters and pain to the Lebanese people in the first round of explosions. The main product involved is the ER924 pager BP machine produced by Golden Apollo Company in Taiwan, China. In the official website promotion of this device, it is specifically mentioned that it can achieve IP67 dust-proof and waterproof. IP67 dust-proof and waterproof means that this pager will not be damaged even if it is thrown into 1 meter deep water and soaked for 30 minutes. In short, its sealing performance is very strong. So ultrasonic welding technology is used in the processing process. Since ultrasonic welding technology is used, this means that once the ER924 pager leaves the factory, It is impossible to open it without damage and then carry out modification and packaging. It can be inferred that all explosives must have been installed on the equipment before it leaves the factory. Therefore, regarding where the production site of this batch of machines is exactly, the Golden Apollo Company has begun to defend itself. Xu Qingwang, the chairman of the Golden Apollo Company, claimed that this batch of goods was authorized to a Hungarian company, and the production site is in Lebanon rather than Taiwan. Regarding his statement, there are currently multiple speculations, and people are trying to find the truth from various clues to uncover the mysterious veil behind this terrible disaster. For example, there is a theory that this incident was a conspiracy between Israel and Taiwan. After all, from August last year to this year, several Israeli lawmakers have successively visited Taiwan. It is very likely that they reached a deal with Taiwan during this period. There is also a theory that the boss of the Golden Apollo Company is unaware. It only authorized a European factory for OEM processing. As a result, this factory was bribed by Mossad, and bombs were placed in the products. Now that an accident has occurred, the reputation of the company and even the relevant enterprises in Taiwan as a whole has also been damaged. The Golden Apollo Company is actually also a victim, of course. Some people think that if Israel gave Golden Apollo Company and the Taiwan authorities rewards that they could not refuse, such as money, military technology, intelligence information, etc., and promised to help them clear their suspicions, maybe Xu Qingwang, the chairman of Golden Apollo Company, and the Taiwan authorities would also take a risk. In short, as for what the truth is exactly, we still need to wait for the authoritative results of the investigation given by the Taiwan police to find out the truth as for how the ER-924 pager exploded. There are now two theories. The first theory is that an electronic clock chip is installed in this pager, and the time has been set at the factory. That is, a certain time point on September 17, 2024. After reaching this time point, the program will start the built-in bomb in the pager. The size of this bomb is only a few grams, but it is enough to maim or kill people. This process is completely automated, which is equivalent to all pagers being made into a time bomb. This also explains why consumer electronics products in Lebanon exploded at two different times. The second theory is that these pagers received radio instructions. According to the introduction on the official website, these pagers can receive radio signals from 450 MHz to 470 MHz. Israeli intelligence personnel sent special instructions to the pagers through signals in this frequency band, causing the lithium battery of the pager to overheat and exceed its normal operating temperature of 50 degrees, and then detonated the built-in bomb. Both of these theories have certain rationality. In short, it is undeniable that the pagers have already been 100% equipped with bombs. The exact time of detonation is completely in the hands of Israeli agents in the second round of explosions. The walkie-talkies involved are from the Japanese brand ICOM Inc. They are products of Japanese radio communication equipment manufacturing companies. Even the label on the fuselage reads "Made in Japan." Obviously, this batch of equipment produced in Japan, like the equipment produced in Taiwan, is specially customized for Lebanon. The purpose is to carry out such a killing operation. Israel has damaged the reputation of Taiwanese enterprises and made them accomplices in launching terrorist attacks. Not to mention that now Israel is also preparing to drag Japanese enterprises into the water, and even risk the reputation of the entire supply chain of Japan and even Western countries. Obviously, in the eyes of extreme Zionists, only their own interests are the most important. This terrorist act by Israel cannot completely eliminate Hezbollah in Lebanon. Instead, it will push regional confrontation to a new height, and the arrival of peace in the Middle East will become even more distant. for a country that wantonly launches terrorist attacks against other countries. The United States still fully supports it. Who is the ultimate scourge of peace in the Middle East? The answer is self-evident: the two major explosions in Lebanon, the pagers from Taiwan, and the walkie-talkies from Japan. What a coincidence. At present, this wave of explosions has caused at least 20 deaths and more than 450 injuries. The United States said it had nothing to do with this series of explosions. Israel's intelligence agency Mossad said, "We did it." Caught in the Middle East turmoil, of 20 people have been killed and 450 people have been injured. Facing such international events, Japan is controlling public opinion at home in Japanese news. Even small entertainment gossip about leaving a brokerage company has a place. But there's not a single word about the Lebanon explosion and the fact that walkie-talkies are related to Japan after preliminary investigation. The pagers in the first round of explosions are suspected to be produced by a manufacturer called Golden Apollo in Taiwan. The chairman of Golden Apollo responded, "The involved model is produced and sold by a European company called BAC. Golden Apollo only provides brand trademark authorization to this company and does not participate in the design and manufacture of related products." Although in oral response, the chairman of Golden Apollo Company refused to disclose the country where BAC Company is located. But in the written statement, it is clearly mentioned that BAC is located in Budapest, the capital of Hungary. However, surprisingly, the Hungarian government quickly released a statement later, saying that after confirmation by the Hungarian authorities, BAC is only a trade intermediary company, and there is no manufacturing plant or other operating places in Hungary. Although the address listed by BAC shows that there is an operations center in Hungary. In fact, the relevant equipment has never reached Hungary. This is really thought-provoking. The so-called operations center of BAC in Hungary is, on the one hand, the content displayed by BAC itself to the outside world, and on the other hand, it is also mentioned in the written statement of Golden Apollo. However, after confirmation by the Hungarian government, people found that there is neither a factory nor an operations center of BAC in Hungary, and the relevant equipment has never set foot in Hungary. In this way, Hungary was unjustly burdened with a sudden scandal. First, the pagers produced in Taiwan exploded, and then the walkie-talkies produced in Japan caused disasters. At the time of the first explosion, people might still think it was just a coincidence or bad luck. However, when the second explosion occurred, people couldn't help but think of the usual sentence pattern of those who like to reflect. Why is it not other countries and regions, but you? This kind of doubt keeps swirling in people's minds, and everyone is eager to know what the truth behind this series of explosion events is.